Alright, welcome back yet again for another Season 4 build video. This time we have KUZENBO, the King Kappa. So I've been enjoying him a lot recently since he came out. This is recorded right before 4.3. I was going to wait until maybe they make some adjustments for him in 4.3. I have no idea. I was thinking maybe he could use a little bit more loving. I got him like past Mastery 1 and kept playing, almost got a Mastery 2, but I decided to hold out on playing KUZENBO and hopes that he gets a buff, because I feel like he's not the worst support, but he's definitely not like top tier, like must play Guardian support or whatever like that. He's just a lot of fun to play, though sometimes he can kind of screw over your teammates. You know, you can knock people out of like Krakens or, for example, things like that. But he's great at peeling. He takes, you know, some skill with positioning and everything like that, but that's not really the point of the video. The point of the video is just to provide you with a build that I've been doing from my KUZENBO. And my KUZENBO, it's not a selfish tank, because you can certainly do that. You can go into items like Hide of Urchint instead of like a Sovereignty, for example. You can go like more of a selfish tank. I build my Guardians more of a support, so I look for those aura items like, as you see here, Sovereignty, Horde Amulet. Now we have Shogun's Kasari, we have Gauntlet Thebes. We have some more items to help out our allies, as well as kind of help out ourselves in the same time. So let's get right into it. Again, this series is not really for experienced Smite players, obviously. If you've, played Smite for a while now, you probably know the items in the game. You probably know, a solid build to go in for a tankier KUZENBO. But I will go into some items that you can pick up if you want to spike up your damage a little bit. I don't really feel like he provides that much damage compared to like a Bacchus or an Ares. Or even like Sobek's, like a fully charged Sobek ulti or a fully charged Chimera ulti does a lot of damage, and KUZENBO is certainly not one of those Guardians that does tons of damage. He's not the lowest damage. I'll say like the lowest damage Guardians is probably like maybe Khepri, maybe like Terra. I would say KUZENBO is a little bit higher than that. So enough of that, let's go ahead and get into the actual build. Some people might ask me like, what do I prioritize as far as leveling his abilities? Me personally, now this is not for Conquest. This entire video is not with Conquest in mind, but I'll provide you with, a decent start for Conquest if you want to play him in the Guardian role. But for me, I actually level up his one the most. I prioritize that first, just because I'm more of an aggressive player and I like to deal damage on my Guardians. And the Nene Kappa, it's really fun just to like, if you're really lucky, you might be able to snipe out some targets that are running away with low HP and you can finish them off or whatever like that. It's okay minion clearing. It's not the greatest. Like for me, like I play Kumakarna a lot and I just love maxing out as one and just boom, being able to clear the minion wave. But Nene Kappa, it doesn't provide your team or anybody. It has like 0 CC. I kind of hope that they add maybe something like a small 20% slow if you get hit by Nene Kappa, so that way it actually does something, because right now it's just for like cute little ricochets and little baby Kappa. It's not that useful, but one thing I did find useful is that you can shoot it through the entire minion wave, of course, deal damage, and then it'll kind of group up the entire minion wave together, and that way you can have one of your allies just quickly use one ability and knock all of them out. But yeah, I do max out as one first, then my 2, then my 3, and then ulti whenever I can. That's probably not the best way. You can, if you don't really care about Nene Kappa, you don't, care about doing damage or anything like that, then you can maybe max out your 2 or 3 over the 1. But that's just kind of personally like what I like to do. So again, enough of the abilities. Let's go into actually building KUZENBO, the King Kappa. Now, if you do want to bring him into Conquest, I've been noticing Watcher's Gift is still pretty much like the go-to starter item for Guardians in the support role. I noticed that Season 4 and now has protections. It used to have like HP 5 and MP 5, I think, in Season 3. It could be wrong. But now it just has the protections, and it still does have the MP 5. But this passive, as long as you allow your allies to get the kills on the minions in the jungle camps, you get some extra rewards like bonus gold, and you can restore your health and mana. And that can help you overall sustain, on top of the potions that you can get in the very beginning. So you can do something like this. You can go to Watcher's Gift. This is just for Conquest real quick. Go into the Watcher's Gift, and then boots. You can go to Traveler Shoes. These are really great for the passive, obviously. The 14% additional movement speed is really great for quicker rotations. So that way you can, help out your hunter if you need to, or you can be whatever you want. I've noticed the Season 4 meta in Conquest, it's really crazy. There's tons of different starts. But the additional movement speed, great for rotations. The HP 5, that's what, health per 5 seconds, that's what that means. That allows you to, again, better sustain. So between that sustain and the Watcher's Gift, you have, you can still stay healthy and be out there helping your allies a lot more often. Of course, the bonus gold, whatever. So you can go to Traveler Shoes if you want to. It's pretty much the best bet for like Conquest. It's not that great in other game modes. Or if you don't really care for that, you can go either into the Shoes of Focus or go to the Reinforced Shoes if you want to be just a little bit tankier and also have that 20% CCR. So what that does, if you don't know what that means, is it allows you to not be CC'd for as long. It kind of reduces the duration of those CCs, so that could help you out. And of course, the passive providing you with extra protection, so it could be a little bit tankier. You know, you got the KUZENBO passive with the 10%, I think it is, at once it's fully filled, damage mitigation. Then you have this, so you can actually be pretty tanky. But go to whatever boots fits your playstyle or your need. So for Conquest, I would go into something like Watcher's Gift, the Traveler Shoes, and then I would just pretty much just go into the Sovereignty and the Hallward Amulet. However, I do see this sometimes. It's more of like a flavor thing. Like after you go into boots, I sometimes see people go back and pick up the Mark of Vanguard. Reason why, it's 800 gold and provides you with a decent amount of stats. It's more of like a transitional item to help you kind of bridge that gap into your core items like the Sovereignty or the Hallward Amulet. Or some people actually they'll just go straight into the Gauntlet of Thebes. Now, Gauntlet of Thebes has been changed quite a bit from Season 3 to Season 4. It still provides you with a lot of HP and then HP 5 as well, but the aura is definitely different. So what this does is it applies a aura effect that also affects you. Don't forget, aura effects also affects the players that you have it on. So gives you and your allies physical and magical protection by 20 and the radius of 70. So pretty much it costs the same as the Sovereignty. Actually, 50 gold more, and then it's pretty much like the same as picking up Hardward or Sovereignty. The only thing is you have 200 more HP compared to the Sovereignty or the Hallward Amulet, since these provide you only with 200. However, you're basically just trading HP for protection, so just pick up whichever one you prefer. Some people might just go to Gauntlet of Thebes, they prefer the HP, and then go into the Hallward Sovereignty, or you can go again into a Hallward Sovereignty, and then you can go to the Gauntlet of Thebes. But backing up again for the start for like a casual game mode that is not Conquest, like let's say Arena, you probably won't even pick up a starter item at all. For Arena, there might be a decent amount of like people that just play Arena just for just fighting or whatever, having some fun. So for Arena, what I like to do is I actually go into the tier 2 item called Steel Mail, and then I go into Sovereignty, and then I'll go straight into boots. You could go straight into like CDR boots, for example, or reinforced shoes right off the bat, and then go into your protection items. I just want to get the protections, online as soon as possible as my very first item, because again, I'm a very aggressive player, and in the early game, the minions will destroy you. So having that physical protection early on, it can definitely help you just tank up those minions a little bit better. And again, the same goes if you're fighting against a magical heavy team comp. Then you can go into the tier 2. Borak, or which is called Silver Talisman. You don't have to go into Borak, I just call it that for whatever reason. But yeah, you can go to tier 2 Silver Talisman off the bat, and then you can go straight to the Hallward Amulet, boots, Sovereignty. Kind of get the point there. Now, for other game modes that you can go starter items, like let's say Joust, maybe Siege, and personally for Clash, I play a lot of Clash, I still go into a starter item for those game modes. So for me, I honestly go into Mark of Vanguard, with the same thing in mind. It provides you with a decent amount of HP protection, but that passive, all damage taken is reduced by 5. So this is really great for a couple things that you might know already. Again, it's great against taking up, all those minions. You can be super aggressive. This will cut the minion damage out by a lot, so that can allow you to be really aggressive. And it's also great against fighting against gods that have damage over time effects, also known as dots. So like example, like Ares. Half of his kit is damage over time. You get the fire, and then of course you have his chains, so that can cut the damage by a lot. Same with Kukulkan, Zonqui, things like that. So I don't have to go into the Mark of Vanguard. I go into my boots of choice, which is majority of the time the Shoes of Focus, and then I go into the Hallward and then the Sovereignty. I just pick up these two back to back. It's been like this for quite some time, maybe season 1, season 2. This has been like the go-to core items for support. Again, if you want to go a more selfish route, you can go into items like the Hide of Urchin, so that way you can get a lot of protections all for yourself, and you can just be, just tanky, and then not really help out your allies a whole lot. But you can still go Urchin like after boots, and then go Hallward Sovereignty later on if you want to. But yeah. So after you got your core items done, whatever, you have a few other item slots that you can kind of play around with. In Season 4, I was going to say Season 3, but Season 4, I feel like, Guardian support, whatever you want to call them, they have a lot more options to build into now. So It's still situational building for support. You don't want to build the same way for every single match, but often, let's say, you know, I don't need like a Nemenian Lion. That's one thing that's really cool about KUZENBO. He has his 2, which you pop, it reflects damage. If you want to kind of stack on top of that, look forward to an item called Hide of Nemenian Lion, and that allows you to reflect all basic attack damage. Now, it's not all damage, it's basic attack damage. So if you're fighting against gods that are building crit, hunters, maybe certain assassins, then definitely buy this item. So between popping your 2, Hide a Nemenian Lion, and then you can go into a relic called Thorns, which reflects all damage, not just basic attacks. As long as they don't notice it and they just keep attacking you, they will crit you, and then also kind of like crit themselves, and they'll just kill themselves, which is great to watch. So again, look out for items like this to counter the enemy. If the enemy team is building like maybe like Frostbound or the infamous Frostbound Fatalis, or just Fatalis in general, because Fatalis got buffed and there's a lot more out there. Then you can look to counter that with the item called Midgardian Mail. When you get hit by basic attack, there's a chance that you'll slow the enemy's movement speed and attack speed by 30% for 2 seconds. So if they're just like basic attacking you down, holding left mouse button with the Fatalis, you know, it's crazy, it has 10 pin now. Now that, you know, that can kind of deter them from, you know, attacking you constantly. So these are some really good counter items that you definitely want to keep an eye out, especially Hide in the Nemenian Lion. It has 80 physical protection and a really great passive. So go into some of those items to help counter certain situations. If you need cooldown reduction, of course, you can always go into the Breastplate of Valor, even though they keep reducing the physical protection of it, so it's now down to 65, but it's still great for the cooldown reduction because it's pretty cheap. Now, of course, if you can afford it, the better version of Breastplate, in my opinion, in a way, is just going to the Mantle of Discord. So this way, you not only have just physical protection, you have also magical protection, and you got the cooldown reduction. It's not 20%, but it's 15%, still decent. It's a good trade-off for the 60 in magic protection. And of course, the passive, having that nice shockwave that will stun all enemies in a range of 20 units by 1 second. So if you're being chased down and they're just like wailing on you, they'll proc that, boom, they get stunned. And that way you have the extra second to kind of separate yourself. Maybe that allows your 3 to come up and you can just dash away. Also, important note, you also gain CC immunity for 1 second. Now this came in really clutch one time. For some reason, it procced the passive and then Ares ultied me and then I didn't get pulled in. I totally forgot this item has CC immunity, but it's a really great passive. So look forward to buying this if you can. Now, if you can't just yet, you can go into Breastplate now, finish your build, go back, sell Breastplate for the Mantle of Discord. You can do that pretty often as well. So again, if you don't need these 3 items right now and you just want to go for a pure support build, if you will, then you can go into, you know, the Gauntlet of Thebes, get more HP, have more aura. So you're giving your teammates a lot of protection, like 30 from Sovereignty, 30 physical that is, 20 magical, and then 20 physical and magical from Gauntlet of Thebes. So that way you can have a really tanky team. And this kind of makes up for the fact that I feel that the relic called Shell, it's not as good, I believe. From Season 3 to Season 4 has been nerfed a bit. But in the case if you were to build Shell, you're giving your allies a lot of protections between your Ura items and this. So that way you can just pop Shell, whatever the case may be, and you can kind of just go with your team to siege a tower, Phoenix, Fire Giant, Objective, whatever. But yeah, so there are a couple other items that you definitely want to keep an eye out for building your Guardian, your support, whatever you want to call them. Shogun's Kasari. This is a really good new item that I've been picking up a lot. Gives you great magic protection. The cost, not too bad in P5, which is kind of whatever. Cooldown reduction. So this works really well if you go into the cooldown reduction route. You go into the Breastplate of Valor for 20%. You got your boots for the extra 10%, so you got 30%. You just need 10% more cooldown reduction to reach the 40% cap. And what better way is to go with the Shogun's Kasari, another 10%. CCR, and the aura is really great. Of course, like if you don't have allies that can benefit from attack speed, then there's no real reason to get this. You can go into something else. But if you do have allies that, you know, can really benefit from the attack speed, like you have a really great carry, like a Hunter, or maybe even like a Poseidon that's going like Gem of Iso and Fatalis, because that's what Poseidons are, you know, doing right now. Then you can go into something like this and definitely look up this item and definitely pick it up. And you can go into that. And you know, it's still your starter item whenever you can, and then go back and pick up another item that you wish you could have picked up earlier. Like let's say if you still need that Midgard or you still need the Nemenian Lion, you can go into those items. If not, then you can just go into the good old Gauntlet of Thebes. If I can find it, there you go. One last item that I kind of want to start picking up now is the Stone of Fall. I'll just say Fall. It's probably not the right way to say it, but don't forget this item's out there. It is really expensive. It's always a little troubling trying to buy expensive items as a support because often supports are behind both in levels and gold. But if you can't afford it and the situation calls for it, definitely check this item out. Again, be careful with the cooldown reduction. You don't want to be overcapping. The cap is 40%. So in this case, it wouldn't really fit the best, but let's say if I didn't go Shogun's Kasari because I can't make use of the Ur effect, and then instead of this Shogun's Kasari as my magical protection item, then I can go into this one because this one also provides magical protection. Not that much, 40, but it also gives you a little bit more magical power, so your Nene Kappas can hit just a little bit harder. And with this passive allows you to not get instantly blown up by, you know, the good old Whirlpool Kraken or the Agni Bombs or Thoth ults or Raw ults. It just helps you just not get bursted down just by mages. So you can go ahead and look forward to buy that item. As well as Voice Tone, I believe, got a buff for Season 4. And now it has 70 magic protection. I feel like every time I look at this item, the magic protection keeps going up. So it's also a really great situational item if you want to help out to your fellow mages, deal more damage. So that's going to kind of wrap it up again. As far as relics, actually that's a very important note. So for my opinion, Sprint, which is now Heavenly Wings, not as great. You're no longer just like totally immune to further slows. It just cleanses. So be really careful. It cleanses the first slow, but if you get slowed again, then this thing is kind of useless. So with this not being as useful and Shell not being as strong, my go-to relics personally is always Sunder, because I love Sunder, even in Season 3. Great relic. Meditation Cloak, this is really great, especially now that supports, I feel they have a little bit more HP, especially with the item of Gauntlet Thebes out. Having all this HP allows your meditation to heal you and your allies for a lot, because that's what it scales off of. It scales off of your HP. It can be really clutch, so Med, Sunder, Thorns, I buy this if I can effectively use it against, like, you know, bursty gods or gods that are building a lot of crit. Then you can stack this really well with your 2. Another important fact, or you think, you know, you want to try out if you do go into the Shield of Thorns and Dominion, if you just want to reflect a lot of damage, try to see if you can get Sunder and hit your enemy with the Sunder first, so that way they take increased damage by 30% with the tier 2 Sunder, and I think it's like, yeah, 15% with the tier 1. So hit them with Sunder first, so that way they take more damage from all sources, and then pop your Thorns and, you know, your 2 and everything like that, so that way your reflection damage, it's a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. I know I've been rambling on for too long. I can get a little excited talking about Smite items and support building and everything like that. But yeah, hopefully it was helpful. Again, a little bit longer of a video. Apologies, but I just want to provide you with some decent information in case if you are new to Smite or Guardian support, whatever, KUZENBO. Yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.